Hi everyone, I hope everyone's doing well. So I thought a change of location might be cool, even though I feel like it's just so bright in here, but it's because it's also super early in the morning. So you might hear some birds, some chirps, noises from geese. I don't know why my neighbors have them. There's no body of water around here. I'm actually surprised that the geese are doing quite well. So I'm actually here because I wanted to talk to you guys about something I've been thinking a lot about, and that's on the topic of self-education. But more than that, how as a freelancer or I guess a group of people who are unemployed or not in a job that they enjoy or a job that they like. Basically, if you're trying to transition, I think that not a lot of people talk about how much it's gonna cost for you to either um, transition successfully, or even how much it's gonna cost to just learn something new. So I think with what I've spent so far trying to change careers and start a brand new life, I can't even tell you how much I've spent. But I can tell you definitely that had I not spent the money, I wouldn't know half of the things that I know today. I think the first amount of money that I spent on something that I wasn't sure about was this membership. And this is before I knew what memberships were. And online memberships, not like gym memberships or like club memberships or anything like that, like online memberships. So it was from this girl who I believe she was from New Zealand, and she has a channel called Wholesale TED or something like that. I don't know why she even calls it that. So I went onto the website, and basically I think she has like a mini training that's free, and then after that there's an opt-in, which at the time I also didn't know what an opt-in was. And basically there was a membership that you could join for $67. So the amount of value that she had in the free video or free thing that I attended made me feel like it's worth the investment to invest in this membership. Even though, like I said, I didn't know what a membership was. And surprisingly, it did say $67 per month, but I don't think I registered how much that was gonna be up until it pulled 1,200 rand out of my account. And I was like, there's just no way I can keep up with this every month. So my plan was that I was gonna catch up with every piece of material that she had on this like paid only membership. Luckily at the time it was like in the like at the top of load shedding, so I wasn't going anyway. So day and night I was just going through each and every video and each and every module that she had. And what I learned from that class was ridiculous. I tried to put it in action almost right away and immediately failed. And I think failing at trying to start my own t-shirt company was the best thing that could have happened to me, because I feel like it taught me that none of the things that we learn can immediately be put in place and that you can succeed the first time around. I think a mistake that most of these people make is kind of like to say, if you use my method, there will be a guarantee that it will work for you. It might work for some people. There might be some people who did that, put the t-shirt business concept into action and immediately got results from it, but it was definitely not the case with me. And I feel like but one thing that it taught me was that it is possible for me to start my own t-shirt business. That's the one thing it taught me. Then I think another thing that I learned from that class was also the fact that there's a huge difference between doing something in Australia and doing something in the US and doing something in the UK. Basically, when you're in South Africa, you are, I don't want to call it the dead zone, but like it's hard for people in South Africa to start e-commerce businesses where they ship directly from China unless you ship the product first, it sits with you, and then you try to sell it like that. But if you're gonna do drop shipping like it's supposed to happen, it's supposed to not even touch you, and I think that's a large problem that I had. I still don't understand the whole China concept, blah blah blah. So started the t-shirt business and it completely failed, but it ignited a spark in me, because now I was kind of like, okay, let me find out what else there is. And I started following all these people, and most of them had very fishy ways of doing things, But I think at the end of the day, I realized that I don't have money to start a product-based business, and I don't have the skills that, for example, a chemical engineer would have, or anybody who just knows how to make recipes and like create products. I don't have that knowledge, so that's not the space that I can venture into. But one thing I know how to do is definitely to start a consulting business or start a servicing business. And that's exactly what I did, even though at first it was mainly something that's known to most South Africans, and that's a tutoring business. But I think I was just really not good at pricing them. And I think the other mistake that I also made was the fact that I didn't know how to price something for it to run as a business, but instead I priced something as a side hustle. And if you think of something as a side hustle, it doesn't necessarily make the money that a business is supposed to make. And so recently, and I shared this in my other video, but recently I paid 600 Rand to join an Upwork Bootcamp. I can tell you now that it's been like a month or 6 weeks later, and I haven't made a cent from the Upwork Bootcamp. But I've also been quite sickish, so I haven't had time or the ability to pour everything I have into it. But so far I've succeeded in sending about 10 proposals, which sounds like a small number, but it was, I think sending in one proposal took me over 45 minutes. And I timed it because at the end of the day, you need to know how many you can send per day. And unfortunately, Upwork is way more active than Fiverr, whereas Fiverr, you post up your gigs and you wait, and Upwork, you have to send proposals, etc. Another thing about Fiverr is also the fact that I had to, did I pay someone to learn about Fiverr? No, I did not, but I watched every single video that I could find on Fiverr, how to make it on Fiverr, how to make money on Fiverr. And I feel like sometimes if you don't pay money to get the shortcut to something, you will probably pay for it in time, because you need to find out how something runs. And sometimes you don't find the direct stream of how to do something. You have to go through lots of videos, because YouTube is huge, guys. Like, I don't know how many pieces of content are out there, but each person has their own version, and it's up to you which one you kind of connect to or whatever. And all of this to say that everything costs money, you know. It's even something as what people would say is probably cheap, which is Udemy, but I've probably paid for over 6 or 8 courses on Udemy. Most of them have to do with digital marketing or SEO, and they are mostly presented by Joshua George, and he's an amazing teacher on Udemy. Like, you could never go wrong with any of his lessons. And another one that I bought was definitely for NLP. I was very interested in becoming a life coach at some stage, but then that's a long story. But the point is that I paid money for all of these things to learn what I know. And I now realize that as I'm going along, I'm realizing, oh my gosh, I've amassed all of this knowledge, but now I'm also in this unique position to sell my knowledge as well, right? And I think lots of people don't understand when they ask me to teach them something that it actually costs money. Because they think because I know it, then they're entitled to know what I know. But that's not a fact. Like, I think if you want me to sit down and teach you something, that means that I have to let go of a revenue generating activity in order to sit down and give you my knowledge that was also acquired by me buying it, or by me spending time that I could have been doing something else, learning that particular skill. So at the end of the day, there's 2 ways of looking at this. 1, knowledge costs something. 2, if you have the knowledge, you can sell it. And I think a lot of South Africans sit with a lot of knowledge and don't know that they can actually sell it, and that's a damn shame. You know, because if you know something, that's something valuable that you have that somebody else can use for them to advance their agenda or what it is that they want to do. So it's quite funny as well because people normally don't react to me selling my knowledge, but I feel like that's just something I'll have to continue with because I really do believe in self-education, and self-education basically got me out of being broke while in unemployment. All the jobs that I currently have are things that I either spend time just trying to learn or I spend money trying to learn. So yeah, like I think if you can just move yourself away from the traditional way of learning things to kind of now anyone can get knowledge about anything they want anyway online, then you can definitely turn your situation around, because that's how I did it, you know. So yeah, if you have any questions about where to get credible or where to get knowledge that you need for something specific, let me know in the comments down below. I'll definitely give you my recommendations. I mean, I've paid for certain things that have not paid off, so I know what that's like as well. However, you won't know up until you try. Like, you won't know up until you do these things. Another thing, if you do buy courses or memberships or anything like that, buy it with the intention of executing. Don't buy with the intention of letting it just sit there, because that's the biggest mistake that people make. People with courses can actually see in the background how far you are in the course. So they know whether you completed their course or not, because some people would get 20% in the course, decide it's not for them, and try to get their money back. But that is cheating, because you already had access to the course. And unfortunately, with digital programs, once you buy it, you can't really return it, even though they say that they'll refund you within 30 days or 60 days. I don't think it's true. It will depend on how far you got in the course. So I hope that really helps. Let me know if you guys have any questions about any of this down below, or reach me directly on Instagram. All right, guys, I'll see you next time. Bye.